Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and this is day 24, where we're going to go back in orbit. We're going to launch from the planet. I have some components and the breadboard and wires and things to play around with, building on the circuit that we've got here. Alex will explain what's going to happen, and then I'll get to the building.
Incoming transmission from Inventor Corp. Are you ready for a liftoff, cadet? Today is the official day of liftoff. We are just going to add very quickly the last bits of code and the last bits of hardware necessary for your launch system today. So we have a diagram as shown here. Where we have the dip switch, which is going to be switches 1, 2, and 3 used for the thrusters lever to turn the thrusters on, the systems lever, make sure the systems and aviation, all that other junk is ready to go. And then we have the confirmation lever is going to be the third one that we're going to have as an input that will just tell us, are you ready to go and get home? Finally, today is the day. You better hit that confirm button and you better make it home alive.
Okay, they've not printed up the circuit diagram for this other than in the video. So I've got a frame from the video there, which I shall be using to copy into this. Now, I don't like building on the board or the circuits or anything while I'm plugged in, so I shall disconnect that first so there's no power going through anything. And we'll start building onto the board. I've got some resistors and the switch and everything else, so they're all off. So we'll put that, let's see, I'm going to build it basically the same as he's got there, but there may be some differences to where it actually wires up and things go in, and obviously I haven't got a great selection of colours for the wires, so we'll figure it out. That's going to go over there as well. Right, okay, I think that's the right way around. Was that? No, the S is that way around on that, so let's put that way. Then we know where we are. Right, I need 3 resistors, I need some wires. I'll get this wired up basically so that looks the same as that, but a little bit different because of things already being wired in. So I shall see you momentarily when this is correct. Right, lots of wires, a big mess, but it works, I think, mostly. Now, all I've done is rerouted some of this from the power on the board to the power strip here. I've made this a ground and a plus 5 volts. So we can use more pins because we haven't got enough 5-volt sockets to do everything with everything. I've also brought the 5 volts over to this side to save having these go all the way over so I can still get to the switches. We've got the buzzer speakery thing there, which I've never been very happy with. Resistors and switches wired up as should be. I've changed the code to affect where I've actually got these plugged into the board. That still says liftoff because I can't get rid of it, but what I have done in the actual liftoff version, I've moved it. I've shifted it over to the right a bit and down a bit. So when liftoff actually should flash up on the screen, what it should actually do is just put it in a different place. Now, the code as programmed, I don't think works as it should. I'll upload it and show you what it does and why it does it. Now, what it should do, as it's uploading, and done uploading. So it's turned off the display. There's a 30-second countdown, but it shouldn't happen until you flick all of these 3 switches down. Now, there's no indication that you've done any of the switches at all till you've done the 3rd one when the display kicks back in, but it's as if it's always been counting down in the background. So all I've done with the code is change the numbers. So when that gets down to 0, that should change to more central. So we know that that's triggering and working and going through. But I can't hear the buzzer. Whether I just can't hear the buzzer or it's not a very good buzzer, I'm not sure. And the switches don't seem to do anything. So I'm going to play around with the code a little bit and see if I can get a bit more functionality out of it. So I'll do that and then come back and go through the code and show you what I've done and how it's done and what they've done, and we'll see if it works. Okay, I've done some change. Well, a change. I've got rid of the buzzer and replaced it with an LED, and a resistor, because that's how LEDs work. Now, I've re-looked at it all and seen how it seems to work, so I'll talk you through it while it's on. I'll upload it now, so that should disappear off once it's uploaded. Yep. Now, if I flick the first switch, nothing really happens, but it knows the first switch is down. Flick the second switch, again, nothing really happens, but it knows the second switch is down. As soon as I flick down the third switch, that's when we get the LED on for 5 seconds. And when that goes off, that comes on and shows us the continuing countdown. Again, I'm not sure if the countdown is deliberately counting down all the time, because it sort of should. As soon as you power it up, it should be right. The countdown's starting, you've got that time to get your switches in position. When that gets to 0, that changes the lift off, which it doesn't actually change because it doesn't turn off. So apart from that, I understand how it works. Now, tomorrow is obviously a creative day, so I think I'm going to play around and perhaps put in extra LEDs for each switch that goes down and change the code like that and try and figure it out. But for now, we'll have a look at the code as is. This is, I say, slightly amended to do what I want it to do. I haven't changed the names of things, so I've changed that to LED from the buzzer, because I didn't like the buzzer. But I haven't changed the name. It's still Takeoff Announcement System, which is a nice, easy one to type in. Yeah, okay. Right, we're bringing up the libraries as ever and setting it for the correct combination of board and OLED. Setting up the constant to turn off the 7 segment. Right, then we're again setting up the 7 segment. No, the display. Yes, specifying where the pins are. So we could do that in initializing and defining, but we're just putting in the pin numbers in there. Right. Set that up for 30 seconds, and setting up a couple of pause integers just for being used a bit later on. We're setting up the font and the liftoff, which is I've moved from 0.22 to 30.32, which puts it a bit more central. Probably go a little bit lower than that as well. So let's put that down to 38. I like even numbers. We're setting up the serial, which we're not really using, but is there anyway. Setting up the LED as an output, the 3 switches as inputs, and initializing the screen, which doesn't seem to do anything because it doesn't actually change. Time remaining is the same as last time, printing the countdown, and again printing it, but not really printing it. I think I've just moved the thing, didn't I? Anyway, we won't worry about that. Right, yes, seconds in the last 2 places it does, first 2 places, but not with the code on, because for some reason that's not working. Don't know why. Time remaining, printing break on the thing, but we're not doing that. Going through the drawing as we did last time. This is the new one. This was playing a tone, hence the beep boop, but I've changed that to just the digital write of the LED to go higher, wait 5 seconds, and then turn it off again. So when we call play beep boop boop, it will put the light on instead of making a noise. The void loop, we're checking to see if the 3 switches are in fact down. Setting the pause to 1 if they are. Then if the pause is 1 and pause 2 is 1, we're playing beep beep. There isn't actually a thing for pause 2. Right, pause 2 doesn't seem to be being used in there unless we've played the beep boop boop, then we're setting it to 1. So if pause 2 is 0, I don't quite understand the logic of that. But if everything is okay, if pause 2 and 1 are both on, then we're running the countdown, which is the countdown which we're doing. But we're actually running the countdown all the time anyway. I think there's a bit missing to do with pause 2 in there, which is probably why the countdown is running all the time. That's saying if the switch is 1, the switch is 1, and the switch is 1, then set pause 1. Pause 2 has been set to 0 at the beginning. Pause is and pause 2 is 0, which is going to be, as long as all the switches are on, play the tune. Yeah, I think there's an error in there, but I don't know enough to be able to figure it out. But it sort of does what it wants. It does what it should do. So yeah, I'm going to leave that as running today and say it was a success and say we made it back to orbit. So tomorrow we shall be doing our penultimate quiz and creative day, when I think I'm going to try some more expressive wiring and try and figure out what's what with this and try and rewrite it so it doesn't actually start the countdown until all three are down, and so it turns on different lights for different ones being on. In fact, I'm going to replace that with a 3-color LED, so we only have one to worry about, but it will change colors. So that's my plan for tomorrow. As ever, thank you for following along and watching, and hopefully leaving comments and telling me what I've done wrong and why I've done it wrong. I look forward to reading those in a few days. I'm building these a few days in advance, so if you do comment, then apologies, I won't be able to address it in the next video, but I will soon, and I thank you for your comments anyway. So thanks for watching. Alex will sign us out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
So, Cadet, safe travels once again, and I look forward to your return. Safe travels. Do not die. Thank you so much. This has been Alex. Happy liftoff. I'm out.